Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As we turn down the music a little bit, because I know it's still be going, to episode 35 of Curse of Strahd with the group Trials of Imagination. If you are new here, we are a group of friends that gets together every Tuesday night to play some Dungeons and Dragons, nerd out, have a little bit of fun. We are currently going through the module known as Curse of Strahd. It is a gothic horror style module. However, the one we're doing is pretty heavily homebrewed, so whether you are a veteran of Curse of Strahd or you are new to it, there is plenty of content here for you. So either camp you fall into there will be plenty of enjoyment, I hope, for both of those type of individuals. As we said, the name of the group we go by is Trials of Imagination. This is our second campaign together. This time around, we added 2 members. We started with 4 in the first campaign, added 2 this go around, so we're up to 6. We have quite a few announcements. So obviously tonight was supposed to be the one shot, but we announced in Discord a little earlier that the individual that was going to be DMing is sick and not feeling well. So we want him to take some time, rest, get better, and we'll pick it up. I think we're looking at doing the 19th of this month, if I'm not mistaken, which is not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that, I believe, is what we've settled on. Or did we settle on next? I don't remember at this point. I think that's right. Either way, we'll make sure to have announcements in Discord to keep you all up to date so you know what's going on and when the one shot's going to happen. But bare minimum, it'll happen the exact same time that these campaign sessions do. So as long as you show up on a normal time, you won't miss the one shot. Pretty easy. Few basic announcements just to cover before we get started tonight. As most of you know by this point, but if you're new, just to go over some of the stuff, we have a podcast. You can do !podcast at any point in time during the stream, and it will give you a link that will take you straight to the Spotify link to where you can listen to these episodes in an audio form, as well as occasional episodes to where we just nerd out and talk about nerd stuff. We also have a Patreon where you can do !Patreon, which will take you towards that. That is a place to where if you want to contribute or donate or give to anything that we're doing here, and also potentially get some stuff, some cool free stuff or some cool involvement in what we do, that is a way to do that without Twitch taking away as much as it does. It's still fun to sub and do all that stuff because we do have a lot of emotes that come with it, but if you're one of those people like many that requested for certain things to be able to donate without feeling like half their donation was getting taken away by some random entity that they have no idea where those funds are going, I get it, I understand it. So we have Patreon for that, as well as a podcast specific episode once per month that is for Patreon people only. And that is an episode where we go kind of into some nitty gritty details of the past episodes that are very recent, and just go over stuff that's kind of behind the scenes or any sort of details that we could want to cover that could even be sometimes spoiler territory, but not necessarily every time. But you know, it's a lot of fun to do, and it's one of those things that's really cool. So if you want to look into that, that's for the Patreon. Let's see. We also have a merch store, so you can do !merch in the chat. That will take you towards that. We do a lot of giveaways all the time that typically has something from this. We try to consistently update it and add references or any sort of funny stuff that's going on with the episodes specifically that are jokes or references or moments that were really fun or character stuff, everything in between. And so it's constantly updating and evolving. So just check that out every now and then and see what is there. So if a giveaway comes around and you win it, you know what you want and you know what you're going to get. It's a lot of fun. And we've had a lot of fun doing that. And a lot of that's thanks to you guys for the ridiculous amount of support that you constantly do that we don't particularly understand, but we thank you for it. You guys are ridiculous. I'm trying to think. Ooh, excuse me. If I missed one. SJ, can you think of anything that I missed?
No.
Okay.
I'm still pregnant.
Yeah.
That's still there.
Yeah. Yes. not wrong. Okay. Well. Go ahead.
Never mind. Well, I was thinking about something, and I wasn't sure if nothing.
Sure. Okay. Well,
there's an announcement that I was like, do I want to announce that yet?
Right.
Next week. If I announce it, it'll be next week. So come back.
All good things in time.
Yes.
Well, that's going to do it for the announcement.
Always, there's things in the background that we are working on.
Accurate at all times.
At all times.
Yeah, it just never stops, really. And then
None of us ever sleep.
Pretty much. And a disclaimer.
It doesn't.
So if you are new here, you will notice once the stream gets going after this intro trailer that we typically do not engage with chat vocally. So this is nothing personal. It's just we have a condensed time frame for when we can do this. We have some players that have to hop off at a certain time. So we get in and try to really focus on the gameplay and roleplay and do as much justice as we can to it in a limited time frame. And as a result of that, we can't really stop and engage with chat vocally like a normal stream might. We do try to actually engage with you guys in chat itself. So you might see us text you up there, but you will not hear us reply to you vocally most of the time. Every now and then, if something really catches us off, maybe we'll kind of like mention it. But by and large, if you see us ignore it, we saw it. We're not actually ignoring it. We're just not replying to it out loud. And if you see somebody come in for the first time that they're new here and they start trying to talk to us, if you don't see any of us reach out to them to let them know what's going on, if you'll just let them know so everybody is in the know and understands and doesn't feel like they're being left out. And there's a portion at the end of the stream where we'll do the exact opposite of that, and we'll do nothing but pretty much talk to you guys, answer questions, laugh, goof around, and have a bit of fun before the night ends. But that does it for announcements. So without further ado, let's get started on episode 35 of Curse of Strahd.
Okay.
And we're there. Okay, good. That's how it's supposed to be because Richard's at Bible study. He'll hop in a little bit. Jay/Miller is going to be out for tonight, so that'll just be a blank spot, but I can put the token up there so we have something. There we go. Okay. So that'll
flickering black spot.
That'll stay there.
Yeah, I know.
And then if any of you guys notice before I do, whenever Richard hops in, just grab
I'll do it.
Grab AJ's cam specifically and throw it out.
Right.
And we'll anyways. So last time on Trials of Imagination, our group actually finally had a night of sleep. It's been a minute. To quote something, it's been a while. But it did not go completely unhindered, however the word is. That some of them had some dreams and some interactions, and all of them were very different in how they portrayed. Ayla had a dream that reoccurred of something that is reoccurring and has happened multiple times of what happened to her father, specifically when he was murdered. But this time there was a slight difference because Idris was in the dream, which has never occurred before. And that brought about its own conversation and some different things that kind of brought into place and some new characteristics of that dream. Additionally, Millard had a new dream, something he has not experienced before, to where he was nowhere near water, but was instead in like a forest, decrepit, swampy area that had this huge pyramid-like structure. And at the top was his brother, but being covered kind of by this black goop stuff. And Millard tried to get to his brother and intervene and save him, but at the end of it, he ended up falling back down the pyramid into the wall of the black stuff before getting covered by it. And then that was kind of where his dream sequence ended. And then we had Zyle, who had a dream on the bridge again, but this time instead of a bridge with a river of blood, it was just a normal, icy, but flowing water bridge with snow covered all around. And instead of it being just him and Idris, there were several characters. There was himself, right next to him, some form of shadowy, cloaked figure that he could not see. Idris on one side, his brother Zeke on the other. And long story short, it kind of became apparent that the hooded figure, when it revealed underneath, was in fact Zyle. So it was seeing himself in a potential outcome of what could be happening in the future, or what could happen to him internally, maybe, if you will. And a great conversation happened there. A lot of good role play from everybody involved. So if you did miss it, I do suggest going back to watch it, which all the episodes are available on YouTube. So if you do need to reference that, I think you can do !YouTube in the chat and it will take you where you need to. There, really good stuff. And then after all the dream sequences, everybody did wake up and begin actually conversating on what the heck to do given all the madness that has transpired in the past few days. And that was a pretty lengthy conversation that had a bunch of different perspectives and different ways of looking at things. But ultimately, the group did decide to try and make their way towards the church to check on Luthien, maybe get an update from Henrik or Father Lucian and get some more answers to certain things now that it is daytime. But before they could really get far away from the tavern at all, there was a blockade of guards walking their way with a interesting character leading at the front of them that introduced himself as the Baron. And that is where we left off last episode, but more importantly, where we pick up this episode, which should be interesting with two characters down at the moment, but we will give it a shot and see how it goes. So, the last thing that you guys really noted was that this character showed up and referred to himself as the Baron, and you have quite a few guards in front of you. And if you would like to look on Roll20, the map is pulled up there for you.
That's so nice.
So how do you guys respond?
I walk to the front of the group and take a deep bow to the, what do you call him again?
Baron.
Baron. And say, my liege, how can we help you?
That
Yes.
goes to hide in the back of the group.
That's a good idea.
He's like, big scary guy. I don't want to do this right now.
And you just see him kind of like with his chin looking up and looking at everyone. Good. At least one of you understands some decor and some manners.
You guys got alcohol, right?
Kind of just like turns to see the tavern you obviously just walked out of.
Please don't mind him. He loves a good drink, my liege.
I haven't had any yet today.
I've been the Baron of this large town for many years. I know a drunkard when I see one. Thank you very much.
Very
I'm not a
good, sir.
drunkard, I'm a dwarf.
Are they different terms?
Very good. May I introduce myself, my lord? My name is Ayla, Princess of Solus.
I'm not familiar with the territory.
Yes, I would not believe so, my lord. As we are not originally from wherever Barovia is, it seems we were brought here by the one, I guess.
Okay. That's your verbiage is going to be the one.
Well, I didn't think they'd want me to say Strahd, so. Has he been referred to as anything else to us?
Strahd?
Yeah.
He's referred to as the devil.
Well, I don't want to say that to him though. I'll just say Strahd.
Okay.
Again, I don't know what else to refer him to as, and you are no help to me.
Has anyone referred to him as just the Count?
No, we met the Count, and he's
Well, I know
crazy.
that was the Count. Okay.
Adar doesn't even know what the term is.
So the second you say
Should
Strahd,
I say Lord of Barovia?
I'm just gonna go with Strahd.
Okay.
So
remember yesterday the bet you promised not to kill me.
Probably should have stuck with one.
So you see all the guards, like the second that word comes out of your mouth, they all kind of like tighten up a little bit as if they're not doing anything towards you, but you can tell that if any of them were relaxed at all, they're now getting way more focused. And the Baron just kind of suddenly turns his head a little downward and cowls a little bit because he stands at about 6'3", 6'4" or so. So he's not a short dude.
So my height.
Yep.
Okay.
But as a typical pompous type of move, he typically holds his head a little up. So he's more kind of like focusing down towards you now.
Yeah, I get it.
We do not mention that name here.
Oh, I am so sorry, my lord. That is how he has been referred to us whatever. I am sorry, my lord. That is all I know how to address him. If you could give me a better way to talk about him when it comes to matters of his existence, I would greatly appreciate it.
Just close his eyes, take a little breath. Fit. Not. For I am a very generous man, and I will give you this one as it was probably a statement of ignorance.
Yes, my lord.
Whispering to Mark,
Vallaki
Nadar says,
Go
"What's
ahead.
a term?"
You're muted.
No, I heard him.
I didn't.
Not me.
So he ignores Nadar entirely.
I'm totally like, Nadar wants to have a different conversation about definitions.
Sure.
Right now.
Vallaki is a safe haven for all who would come here, free of the torment of evils and wretched beings like the individual that you referenced. For I, Vargas Vlakovich, the Baron here, have ensured the safety of every individual here for many years now. We have no attacks inside the city in years to come, and we will continue to keep it that way, as he stares at all of you intently.
How do you pronounce that last name again?
Vlakovich. So like the first half of the word being Vallaki, Vallakovich. First word, Vargas.
Go. spelled it phonetically. I don't care if it's correct.
I can give you the spelling later.
I don't need it.
Okay.
And we very much have appreciated words. We very much have appreciated that level of comfort in knowing that Vallaki is safe under your watch, Baron Vallakevich.
Indeed. Now,
So, what can we do for you?
you can start by answering some questions, but not here. I would like to talk to all of you somewhere more private.
Very good, my lord. Please lead the way.
And he doesn't signal anything. He just turns around and the guards behind him kind of open up and he begins walking and the guards split and kind of rotate to where they surround the back part of you. So behind Zion, behind Millard, to where you kind of have guards on all sides. And really the only way forward without going through guards is following where the Baron's going.
I stay like right behind him, like half a step to right behind him.
Yeah. And you guys can note as if you looked on the map at all that it's morning time and now like the city is active again, so there's people passing everywhere between common.
And I would like to say that Ayla's stature has changed. She is walking very upright and proper, shoulders back, head, correct, no slouching whatsoever. If you've noticed, there is no accent, and she's very prim and proper in this moment.
Okay. All right. So this is all you can do without resistance, but does everyone willingly go with the crowd, or is anyone going to try and resist?
Nadar would be the only one I can think who would actually try and resist. But he's more confused on to some of the big terms they used. so he's trying to figure out the terms.
Sure.
I'll speak in Dwarven to tell Nadar that it's okay. We'll just go with these guys and figure things out.
Can you also tell him in Dwarvish to keep his mouth shut?
Nadar responds in Draconic. Okay. I know you don't speak Draconic, that's why it's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's nodding his head as he
you're in
says
charge of Nadar. Anything he does is your fault.
No, it's my fault. That's the player.
Godspeed, Mark.
May the force be ever in your favor.
Yep. Okay. So you guys follow the Baron for a while, and he goes fairly close to the direction of the church, which is pretty close to the center of Vallaki in there. But a little bit past it and further south of the church is a very large building that seems to be a home, dare we say, mansion, in the sense of what people like Millard or maybe some of you envisioned what Ismark meant when he said we have a mansion. This is the more stereotypical type where it is a very large, wealthy, nice-looking house that he has led all of you to, and it has a large stone stairway that leads up to it. And he opens these large, probably 15 to 20 feet tall double wooden doors to go to the entrance. And you enter, and it is mostly wood flooring, just like a real nice dark walnut that has a lot of, imagine like a hunter's kind of domain, to where there's a lot of pelts and skins and skulls that have been mounted for things that have been killed over time. One of which being like a full werewolf that there's apparently a taxidermist somewhere nearby because it is just completely stuffed and just looks like it's still in full form, standing pretty tall, probably about 10 feet tall or so, but the roof of the building is very, very tall, kind of hard to picture how big it is totally. But it's a big open foyer that has 2 arched stairwells that lead kind of like in a curved pattern that go up to the second floor. And it's just a very large open area, and that's where he leads you, and all the guards follow in, and they shut the doors behind them. And you guys are now in the home of the Baron. So he just kind of starts walking along side to side, holding his hands behind his back, and just continue to look up. I cannot help but notice that a new group of adventurers should arrive to my town, and in the same evening, we have a god murdered in the street, a drunkard murdered in the street, and then not one but 2 entire section of gate guards murdered. Something like this has not happened ever under my watch of Vallaki, and I will not stand for it. Now,
wait, what did you say about the gods?
He just holds his hand up to you. As I stated earlier, I am a benevolent leader. I will allow all of you to plead your case. So tell me why I should not assume that all of you here are responsible for these actions and have all of you hung at the gallows immediately.
Where were the gods' bodies found?
I turn and look at Nadar, and then look at Mark. And then turn back to the Baron.
Because we were fighting at one of the gates, because there was a scary thing we don't talk about.
There was a zombie horde that attacked the eastern gate last night.
Or we were there fighting them. And there were also frog things.
He just kind of
almost died.
He kind of just looks in like denial, not in what you said, but useless information. They would have had 0 chance of reaching these walls.
Can I make a persuasion check?
To
like using what I just said to help persuade him.
That you almost died?
No, that we were off fighting. We couldn't really be doing, like, using that as evidence. We were fighting instead of like doing what he thinks we did.
He believes what you said. He just doesn't care.
That's how Nadar's pleading his case.
I mean, right. Okay, roll a persuasion with disadvantage.
Let's get set in the middle.
That's gonna be a pretty high bar at that moment.
Nat 20.
With disadvantage?
Oh no, with disadvantage is a 13. I forgot disadvantage.
Okay, I was gonna say
13 plus 1.
I call hacks. Okay.
14.
I forgot disadvantage. Yep. I just saw the 20 and I'm like, yes.
Okay,
and then you reminded me disadvantage.
What precisely did you say?
Well, what I said in summary was, we were off fighting this horde of zombies at the east gate, and there were these frog things, and they were out there, and there was a dragon. I'm not using the term dragon. We were off over there, and I was about to say before I thought persuasion was, how could we have done everything you said if we were over there fighting?
Perhaps that is something to partially consider. However, the night is long, and there was much time to do many things throughout it.
Yeah, but I don't remember killing any gods.
You could just ask the guard that was at the east gate. He'd tell you that we went to the tavern just after after we fought there.
Yeah,
The
ask
people
him.
at the tavern could confirm that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what guard you are referring to, as every single guard that was at a gate on the east and north side last night are dead.
No, there was one that survived.
I look at Mark. Did you kill him without telling us?
My lord, I assure you, when we left the gate, there was a guard left at his post.
You destroyed my ale. Why? What makes me believe you wouldn't kill a guard for no reason?
You saw me leave with you.
He's going to ask if you know the name of which god exactly are you referring to?
The happy, not grumpy one.
Do we ask his name?
We asked his name multiple times. He just refused to give it.
Yes. I'm sorry, my lord. I do not know his name. There was another guard there who left once we arrived, and I'm not sure where he went either, but I assure you there was a guard at his post when we left back to the tavern. And we even found Luthrian and took him to the cathedral for help.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's where we were headed when you intercepted us. We were on our way to check on him, make sure he was doing all right.
He a guard leans over and kind of whispers into the Baron's ear. Perhaps you are speaking about Mr. Jateth of the Night Guard.
I believe he was a captain of the guard. I look at Zyle, who's not here.
And so I have DM clarification. Are you guys referring to the guard that fought with you guys at the gate?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The one that Zeke killed that none of our characters know was killed.
Correct. That's what I figured. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, we're not daft.
Yep. There were two guards stationed at that post last night. Both who are now deceased. One of which seemed to have perished sometime in the night at his post. So, I am sorry if this is news to you, but Mr. Jateth is in fact dead.
My face changes, shows absolute shock, and it's just... But he was alive. He was even calling us ridiculous as we left.
Are you sure it wasn't the woods playing a trick on you? Because they played a trick on me once, and I don't like it.
Nadar.
Maybe we're all in the woods. I slap myself in the face.
Annoyance just washes over my face.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there goes that idea.
The other individual that night decided to commit the heinous and unforgivable act of abandoning one's post. And he starts to walk over to one of the large pane windows that is easily probably at least 10 feet tall. That kind of faces the east side of the open foyer, and he just looks out.
How sturdy does the window look?
Oh no.
Sturdy?
Yeah.
Don't answer that question.
It even for Nadar's standard, it looks like a nice thick window.
That's a nice boulder.
I think SJ knows what came into my mind when she said don't answer that.
Yeah. But
We all knew.
He's looking up as he's having this monologue and says, people like this must be made an example of. And he's staring up.
I'm gonna go shove him out the window.
No, please don't. I hold out my arm in front of him.
I duck under it because I'm short.
How?
And I enter a rage before I push him.
If you try to make any form of like aggressive motion towards him, he's far enough away that like guards are going to intervene.
As I get close, I'll enter my rage and shove him out. So I'm almost like right beside him as I do it. So the air was like.
I stop Nadar before he passes me.
Okay.
How dare you? I will.
What do you mean, how dare I? I'm trying to keep us alive here. What did I say before this started? Don't be dumb. Don't get us killed or thrown in prison.
Make a strength check, Ayla.
He's not enraged yet, so he doesn't get an advantage.
No.
Dang it.
Because if this doesn't plan out like I want, I'm not removing that if I don't get to enter the rage.
You rolled a what?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay. You manage to get your hand out in front of him, but either between his height or just his focus in the specific task, he does manage to get past your hand, but you did slow him down a little bit, so enough
And
that
I say Zyle picks him up.
enough that Elbreth, Zyle, Millard, and Mark can all be aware of what's happening, so you guys can have a reaction to this.
Zyle picks him up.
I'll do the two that are not here last. I'll let the two that are here give a chance first. Just what they would like to do. It's not much. It's just be a reaction.
I don't know what I want to do.
I would telekinetic shove him.
I can do that,
To
but
the floor.
I don't know what he's doing, really.
Right now, it just looks like he's walking towards the guy in front of a window.
Yeah.
And Ayla's like, no.
The fact that Ayla tried to stop him, I think, would give you a hint to also stop him.
Yes.
Up to you.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wait. I should have used my inspiration, because I had DM inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
I got yeah.
Okay, so does Mark do anything, or does he just stand there in confusion? That's an understandable option if that's where you choose to go.
Yeah. We also know Nadar well enough that it probably isn't something good.
It's true. Alright, I'll use telekinetic shove.
To hold him to the floor.
Yeah.
You're trying to hold me to the floor?
To pull you back.
Okay, then that one I'm going to try and resist.
Okay, let's get some rolls.
That's it. A strength save?
Yeah.
Yep.
DC 14.
19 plus 5.
That will do it.
Okay.
If you were going to go to the floor, you probably wouldn't. I probably would still try to resist.
Elbreth, do you do anything?
Oh, is that beer back here?
Oh, that. Where?
I thought I saw like at least 3 different types.
Which way?
Over here, back here, away from the window.
Dinar immediately turns around and just goes hunting for that alcohol.
You are smart.
Oh
Still
boy.
haven't had my breakfast beer.
Oh man. I can't think of what's better.
As
The
he walks
fact
away.
of that plan or the fact that it actually worked.
As he walks away, I address the Baron. I understand.
Perception
that
check.
you want
And then
me?
yes, and then go ahead with what you're saying.
Is it everyone?
No.
No, just SJ.
Okay.
If I can find my mouse, there it is. 20. Dirty 20.
Even when you start talking, you realize now what he's staring at, and he's looking
I
at
figured.
a gallows that's pretty high up, and the guard that abandoned his post is dead and being hung. I'm in here twice. Woo!
Yeah, it's okay.
So
Don't get
fancy.
fixed. There, it's all fixed. Zyle, you missed
Yeet.
a lot.
A lot.
I
none
see
at
it
all.
and I say, it is understandable that you would take such an action for someone who would disregard their orders and leave their post, my lord.
Indeed. There are strict rules here, and we do not deviate from those rules. Abandon
Course
of
not, my
one's
lord.
post is not tolerated, even in the face of death.
Quite understandable. Same as the kingdom I reside in back in the other realm.
Richard, just so you have a brief recap, you guys are in the Baron's home.
This was not the night to leave me alone. Just saying.
You are currently being kind of interrogated about the events of the previous night. There's a fleet of guards accompanying him. Nadar almost just attempted to push the Baron out the window, but
And
Bex,
Ayla is not sassy.
Elbreth being quite witty in the
this
moment.
is really bad.
Everybody was failing on rolls, or Nadar was succeeding on rolls, however you want to look at it. But Bex, in a moment of quick wit, decided to say, "Oh, look, there's alcohol over here," and then that distracted him enough to where it didn't go down. But he has been talking about so he revealed to the party that the guard you thought was still at the gate that turned out to be Zeke, he's now revealed to the party that guard is dead. So now the players already knew that, but now the characters know that. And he has also revealed that the guard that abandoned his post, that is something that is not tolerated, and only SJ at this point, with Ayla's character, got close enough to the window that he was staring up at to see that guard is being hung from the gallows. That is where we are currently. Yep.
And Ayla's being super prim and proper.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you put your hands behind your back just to talk as the Baron. I just wanted to point that out.
It's the little things. Yeah. Helps get into character.
Yeah, alright, sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So he's still just kind of staring up, like, even with your perception check as high as it was, you can borderline even notice he's kind of admiring it.
Mm-hmm. That is quite the gallows, my lord. I have never seen one like it in my day, and I have lived a lot of days.
It is the grand gallows of Vallaki, one that is meant to send a message to the entire city.
I can see that. It is definitely a strong message, Baron.
Indeed. Any
So, what do you want of us, I guess?
I believe I have already answered that. I would like to benevolently give you all the opportunity to plead your case.
Yeah, but we already tried to plead our case.
One of
My
you
lord,
did.
if I may, when I myself entered your beautiful city of Vallaki, I toured around looking for a friend who decided to run off to the tavern. But me and my friend Zyle here, we walked through your beautiful city, met some small children, and continued on our way till we came to your tavern. From there, we talked amongst ourselves, and at some point someone informed us of the troubles that were going on at the East Gate, where we rushed to immediately and tried to help out until they were gone. Of their own volition, they left. Then on the way back to the tavern, some of us took a detour to take Luthrian to the cathedral to get some care. Then we went back to the tavern and finally were able to get some sleep.
When you said Luthrian, several of the guards started murmuring, and one of them kind of like speaks to the Baron. So Mr. Luthrian is yet alive, then. That is good
Last
news.
I saw him,
We
we
never
were on our way to see him when you intercepted us, my lord.
Well, his entire regiment was dead in the streets, and we never found his body, so it is most good news to hear that he might still be around. They don't make many individuals like Mr. Luthrian. Incredibly strong and loyal.
I could definitely see that of him, sir. He did have quite the collection of wounds about him, which was why we took him to get looked after by the clergyman.
In which clergy is that? There are multiple in Vallaki.
It was one who has the exact same name.
You can do it.
I'm pregnant, I can't.
Come on, don't use that cop out.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to give me 5 minutes. Give me a second.
That's not a valid cop out.
Those are two very different options.
Whispers Lucian to Ayla.
Lucian, are you freaking kidding
I think
me?
Lucian? I don't know.
Lucian.
Remember now.
Wait,
Lucian?
that's not it.
Lucian.
Lucian. Lucian, my lord.
Ah. Well, Lucian, that's actually very nearby. He whispers over to a couple of the guards and gives a hand, and you see 3 or 4 of the guards exit the house.
Is it Lucian or Lucian?
Either way.
Okay.
It's going to be spelled Lucian.
L-U...
Cian.
Alright. Yeah, I spelled it phonetically.
Mhm.
That is an N, not an M.
And he's going to look now towards both Zyle and Elbreth, I suppose, kind of looking at both of you. What have either of you, quiet ones of the bunch,
What of us?
Will you not plead your case, or would you like to go straight to a guilty verdict?
Oh, okay.
I do not wish to take the word of one individual of a party. I take no offense, Miss Ayla, but you could be lying through your teeth and I may not know it. I need to hear stories from all of you.
Very good, my lord.
A polite
So,
liar at that.
Being thankful that Ayla did all the talking in this situation. Just
Also stunned by the fact that she was proper for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Definitely better for her to talk to this guy than him. He will just like hold his arm out and lift the sleeve up where the mark is.
You hear a couple whispers among the guards immediately. So do we have a fan of Luthrian here? You seem to bear a similar marking as him.
I don't know so much of a fan as he gave it to me himself.
Peculiar. I do not
feel
know.
This is the best case I can make for myself, my lord. You can tell he kind of chokes that last bit out.
Good. Quiet, but at least knows his place in the world. I do not know what to make of this muck. You, the tall, pale one. What of you?
It seems that whenever we reach this land and this town, we keep being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or it seems that trouble is following us due to the lord of that other castle or town making us his enemy, and there's also his minions keep coming after us as well, and we just keep coming into the middle of it.
I see. And what would you have me do, being in my situation of having many dead gods for the first time in years, and yet it happens on the same night which a new group arrives to my town?
I look at Zyle. Oh no!
Oh no.
Who did
Hold
we
on,
look?
wait, I got this.
Okay. It's one off, but we got it.
I just gotta change the name.
Yeah. I need to change it to
Hey, I'm over it.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm Mark. Telekinetic shove.
Okay. So he just asked all of you what you say he should do as a man in his position.
I believe you're doing the right thing, my lord. Investigating what the most obvious differences in your city, which would in fact be us. From here, continue to look for witnesses.
I could maybe help you investigate maybe some of the murders.
Is there perhaps someone that you trust that could put us under, that could question and in a way that if you have a mage or something that can detect if we're telling the truth.
The guards are off to fetch Master Lutherian. He would be one I would take the word of.
I would like to check in on his well-being as well, so...
Fret not. They will bring him to us shortly. And he turns back around and stares back out the large window one last time, which and Richard, because you missed, like, the house they're in right now is massive. The double doors on the outside were 15 to 20 feet tall. And the windows 10 feet or taller. So it's a very upscale mansion type of situation. And he's staring out the window to the gallows, and things suddenly kind of get like a little eerily quiet in the room. And what should I make of a rogue dwarf having the idea to try and push me out my own window?
Well, my lord, as you have stated when we first met you, you know a drunkard when you see one. He is the type that likes to act before he really thinks, and we do try to keep him in check, my lord, and I apologize for his little outburst there. But...
And he kind of like looks down, pushes his hands together, and everyone roll a perception check. That's a good face, Richard.
Perception.
It's like, oh no.
I rolled a 10.
I got 6.
Alright.
5.
I rolled a 14.
I rolled a freaking 2. Oh, wait. Can I use my inspiration, not my DM inspiration, my regular inspiration?
If you want to on a perception check.
Well, I'm at the music changed, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Right, what do I have?
Richard, you're muted.
That's
so
not much better. I got an 8.
Yeah, Richard, you're muted, so I didn't hear your roll.
15.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say he got 15.
Alright.
Okay, so...
I'm gonna use my chat bardic inspiration too.
Okay.
That's a 21.
Okay, so Bex and Ayla don't notice anything. They're kind of just focusing on the situation. Zalmark and Nadar notice that for whatever reason, with whatever the Baron is doing, that the guards seem to become a little uneasy. Like, in a fear sense, kind of.
Oh, dear.
Is Nadar still looking for beer?
Yes.
I'm kind of just looking around the room in the general direction.
Okay.
I assume there's still like guards in the area listening.
Lord,
And
if
he's-
it would put your mind at ease, feel free to lock the dwarf up until you are more comfortable. Or until you have us depart. Anyways.
And then
Yeah,
he kind of shrugs his shoulders in, and this is going to happen in a blink, but you see him move from one side of the room to behind Nadar in what seems like a quick form of dark gray and really crimson red smoke that just comes behind him and immediately is hunched over Nadar.
And do you think that I need locks in my own home? Or that I would dare allow a dwarf to murder me out my own window?
I wasn't going to try that. I wanted to jump out the window.
Liar, liar, liar.
Can I make an Arcana check?
With disadvantage.
Mhm.
And I have a little bit of personal space here. I just want to find some alcohol.
Well, I rolled a 8 plus 6, so 14.
So you wouldn't know what this is, but you've been in Barovia long enough now to recognize that there is like a different subset of magic that seems to happen here, and you're seeing a pattern. This seems to be something specific to this geographical location that is not where you're from, but is here, and it's like something that seems familiar, but you just don't have your finger on exactly what it is.
Okay.
And the rest of you see this. So this is like he covered probably a good 30 feet without you guys really even being able to react. And in a sense of smoke, from staring away into the window to being behind Nadar now and being very self-aware of things that happened behind him.
Nadar's hand, as like that, as he appears behind him, instinctually goes for the great axe, and then he's like, "Wait!" And he rests his hand on his hand axe. He's like, "Can I have personal space, please?"
Perhaps. Would you like to go out the window?
Sure. I'm not going to resist him picking me up, but as soon as he throws me out the window, I'm raging.
He straightens back up. Just kind of because of the street cough. Now then. I have shown you a bit of my hand that you might not take me for some helpless fool.
Well, if you didn't have a cage in here, I didn't think you were helpless. I figured it was the guards.
I know.
Well,
He starts like just walking and talking over you, just kind of like a pompous type of person would. I know full well that it is not as simple to say that all of you are responsible for the events that occurred last night. I also know it is unlikely that you are completely uninvolved in some manner, whatever that might be. And although I don't know what that is at the moment, I assure you I will find out. But
Nadar comes back over towards the group and mumbles to Mari like, "Didn't the one guy who helped us when we first got here, didn't he tell us he wanted to or was that one of the guys who says they follows him and said they wanted to start a war with us?" All that is like mumbled to Mark.
sure.
I don't care if in a way, like, it's supposed to be like just between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
But if he uses that, Nadar's digging his own grave here.
I'll use my cantrip message to respond to Nadar.
Is that only like one sentence?
Well, you can communicate back and forth with it.
I'm gonna pull it up just so I know how I can respond.
It's 25 words.
Yeah.
Up sending
You
was
can
25 words.
recast it.
Yeah, in this specific case, for the purpose of it, I wouldn't even bother with word count. Just communicate as you will.
No, this message doesn't have a limit. It just has it can't be sent through certain spots.
Materials, right?
Yeah.
Sending is the one that has the 25 word limit.
Yeah, so either way, no word count.
Okay. Yeah, the devil said that he was at war with someone, but he wasn't at war with us. He wanted to get us to join him.
Okay.
And you're just mumbling this to Mark, right? Or to Nadar?
You
the
can
cantrip.
respond back with message. You don't need to mumble it.
Within range of message. Message. Reply in a whisper. So he is actually whispering this, like quiet enough that like it would only be him hearing, is what he's saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Dar would respond like, "Okay, I thought you wanted to fight us. Guess I want to fight him."
I look at Zyle, more of a like questioning, because I don't know if he wants to bring in the knowledge of his brother or not.
He just kind of shakes his head in a no, not yet kind of way.
I just slightly nod and look back at the Baron. My
Now-
lord, what would you like from us now? We have pled our case, and we are now waiting for Luthrian to corroborate our story. Would you like us to stay here? Is there a different room you'd like us to sit?
I would have all of you
we are
stay.
at your mercy.
I would have all of you stay put until Lutheran arrives.
Does this house appear to be made out of stone?
No.
Very good, my lord.
I don't know why, but I really want to use the stone cutting ability dwarves have.
No, please don't.
No, it's
The-
Not
proficiency
made of
with
stone.
no. But the
The-
thing is, I
That's
get
apparent.
proficiency with history checks related to the origin of stonework.
Okay.
Oh, and
So-
then double the proficiency bonus.
He starts just kind of walking back now to where he was, where he's just walking back and forth in the room with his hands behind his back and his head kind of a little cocked up. As I have previously stated, I am a benevolent leader, and I can at least acknowledge that although you did a bang-up job of saving any of the gods last night, you did at least decide to stand with Vallaki when there was some form of useless opposition on the side of the gate. I do not believe they had any hope of entering this fortress of a city, but be that as it may, you did choose to side with the right side.
Yes,
That-
my lord. As we are new to Vallaki, we did not know its great magnitude that you have created of this city in its fortification and its impenetrability. So we did want to do our part in protecting your wonderful city, and I am so glad and thankful for the work that you have done to make sure that this city will never fall.
Finally, someone with some wit about them.
I would like
Who
to add
is
here.
this character?
I would like to add here. All good things come to an end.
May it never be so of Vallaki or for Baron Vallaka. I can't even do this.
Like she's very much doing
Vallaka.
like the Bilbo
Do this.
Baggins to the dragon situation right now is what's happening. Okay, at this time you see the double doors open back up and there's 4 guards coming in, and now standing behind them, walking and awake, is Luthrian, who has a
I
makeshift
know him.
tourniquet and bandage around his arm that had been severed. But he looks good, other than the loss of an arm.
He had 2 arms last time I remember seeing him.
Did he have 2 arms last time I saw him?
No.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Nadar
checking.
just blocked the memory of seeing the bloodied Luthrian without an arm.
And the Baron's just kind of, oh, my dear Luthrian. Oh dear. Seems like we have had a bit of an incursion in the night. Well, good thing you're right-handed.
I told him we were fighting. We're fighting with Vallaki, you know?
Now,
This is all like whispered to Luthrian.
You're not close enough to him.
he's ignoring you and just kind of like staying in reverence,
That's fine.
kind of, which is... Zyle, roll a perception check.
18.
You notice, since you had direct interaction with him, and you yourself are a military man, you notice that he seems to be portraying some form of respect, we'll say, that you have not visibly seen thus far. So he seems to be making sure to mind his superiors, basically, and not trying to be relaxed in any regard. And it's very obvious to you that that's the case.
Especially in his state of
Wait.
wounds.
And even with one arm, he has his right arm tucked behind his back, and his, I guess, left nub attempted to tuck behind to have like add attention.
Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wish
I
Nadar
just
could pass the
accidentally
spell
clicked
type.
a check and rolled a nat 20, and I'm very annoyed by that.
Okay. Out. That sucks.
We'll just save that for whatever comes next.
Yeah, sure.
Yes! He said sure.
Yeah.
It's recorded.
Now, Mr. Luthrian, I don't particularly know what to make of this mark you left on this individual here. Do you care to enlighten us on what this might be? And then Luthrian begins to take like a quick glance at Zyle before looking back at the Baron. In the moment of dire straits, it seemed that I would not make it out. And I sent Zyle as a messenger with this mark, so that those who are familiar with it may understand that they were not the enemy, even though it would be very apparent that they would be scapegoated as such, given that they have just arrived in a new city, and a large amount of murders have occurred at the same point of arrival. I see. And would you vouch for all these individuals? And he just kind of like takes a step forward and gets his right arm and puts it right here.
No, we're going all Attack on Titan on this.
Well, where do you think Attack on Titan gets it from? Very well then. Mr. Lutheran has spoken, as is custom with our laws here. He has vouched for all of you. And that will be enough. If any of you should prove to be false, you should know that per our law, the first one to receive punishment will be Mr. Lutheran. So if any of you have a conscience about you and are false, ironic, perhaps keep that in mind. It would be a shame if I had to do anything to you, Mr. Lutheran. I do rather admire you as an individual. He just kind of stays in stance and doesn't move. So,
Thank you, Nadar says, and does like a really awkward bow for not having done something like this in a while.
That leaves us with where we are now. A great travesty has occurred this night, and I will not have the ideals or vision of Vallaki be tarnished by the works of some evil madman, whatever it is, wherever they are. So the festival of the blazing sun that would have been several days from now shall be moved up to 2 days from now. And all of you will help us to ensure that we get it running smoothly.
That sounds like fun.
We would be honored, my lord, to serve you in this manner, and we will do our very best to serve.
Can I have some alcohol while we do it?
What is the festival of the burning sun?
A party.
He just kind of quickly nods. The blazing sun.
Apologies.
It sounds like a party.
He just
I
kind
want to
of
go to a party.
tosses his hand as almost like in dejection. Speaking of alcohol, one of our trade routes that has a direct line to a vineyard nearby where we receive wine has not returned with this last wagon.
What way?
It would be to the west.
Nadar just was like, okay, can I go do that now?
No.
Perhaps
Does
allow
anyone
me
not
to
have a gagging spell?
Perhaps allow me to give you all the information, Mr. Dwarf Drunkard, before
Name's Nadar. Nadar Magma Shield.
Nadar Dwarf Drunkard, yes. We have not received word from the wagon in some time, and now with the festival moving even further forward, it is paramount that if we will have the supplies for this festival, we need to ensure that we have what we need in time. So it seems like a good task for all of you to potentially show some good faith at my benevolence of not choosing to take wrath upon all of you for the events that have transpired. Seems fair, does it not?
My
Sounds
lord, that
good to
seems
me.
more than fair. And I take a deep bow. It would be our honor to go and do this task for you to ensure that the wine will be delivered here safely, hopefully found all intact.
The more alcohol for everyone, the better.
That seems to be the case with most festivals. Do be on your guard. We did send 2 hunters previously, neither of which returned as well. So I half expect there to be some form of
mystery.
I don't know. Interference along the way, whatever it might be. But just see that the wagon is brought back with the supplies, and perhaps we can put all of this behind us and allow you to actually make a name for yourself in Vallaki, yes?
Yes, that's our specialty.
Very good, my lord. And I do a slight bow.
Alright. I'll bow as well.
He just kind of like cracks his fingers.
Can we go do that now?
What you do with your own time is at your leisure. I have spoken my piece. Lutheran has vouched for you. The law of our people have been made in place. Go now, do as you see fit. The festival is in 2 days. See that the supplies arrive a day before that. Now go, leave my home.
Nadar does some weird, like,
I bow.
with the wrong hand, spins on the spot, and like, yep, and just like runs out the door.
I bow and I exit.
Thank you
Trying
for
to
your
eye
patience.
everybody to do the same.
Oberith, like,
Nadar's already running out the door.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about him.
Oberith bows slightly and is like, thank
I
you for your
grab
patience.
Miller's
It's not well.
arm before he can do anything stupid and drag him out.
Zhao and Mark?
I am
guess-
leaving.
I guess I'll try and copy Ayla.
Okay. So you take a bow and then leave?
Yeah.
Nice manners for a bunch of fools. And Mr. Lutherian takes a bow as well, and then turns around to walk out with you guys. And you walk out, large, tall wooden doors close, and Lutherian begins walking back towards the direction of the tavern without saying anything to you guys. What do you do?
As soon as we get the first road split, Nadar's like looking both. Which way's west again?
Dart, we have to collect ourselves and make a plan first. So we're going back to the tavern.
We're going to go get that wine.
We will, but we must
Nadar,
go back
no
to
wine
the
for
tavern.
What do we need at the tavern?
Yeah.
That's where Mr. Lutherian seems to be walking.
Right.
You don't have to
More
go that way.
saying,
We could just call him back, be like, hey, wait.
Nope.
Like I said, you guys do what you...
After I say my piece of we're going to the tavern, I continue to walk following Lutherian.
Okay.
Okay.
What do the rest of you do?
I will follow
So wait,
Ayla.
does she ignore? Like when she did it, she just like she didn't say anything in response. When like Elbereth's like, what do you need at the tavern? Or did you say I'm gonna talk to Lutherian?
I had already said we need to collect ourselves and make a plan.
I don't
No,
think
that
we
was
need to
before,
go to
though, I
the
thought.
tavern.
Nadar's background is Outlander, which gives Nadar an excellent memory for maps and geography. But considering I don't know the land, I don't know whether Nadar would be able to figure out which way is east or west.
You know that we fought at the east gate, so we need to go the opposite direction.
We are about to head out into territory we do not know. I would
Nadar's
like
gonna
to
get a head
continue
start.
to make sure that Lutherian is all right, and also hopefully gain some insight on what just happened and what we have gotten ourselves into.
No,
Wait.
Nadar will also not resist anyone trying to just pull him along.
Okay.
Not getting an answer, Elbereth's just kind of like,
I just
and
answered.
then no, you said it before, right?
just
Or you
now.
just repeat it.
I was just saying, we're about to go into as Ayla says, we are about to venture into territory we do not know. And I would like to gain some insight on what just happened and what kind of a mess we just got ourselves into. I would also like to
We're
make
helping
sure that
set up a
Luthrian
party.
is doing okay. Well, that's basically what I said.
Okay, I thought that was to Nadar.
No, that was to you. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, Albert, I'll look at like Millard, just kind of make sure that he's, because he's really anxious to go, and then be like, all right, but let's not spend too long, so we don't find
Yeah,
ourselves.
I don't think we need to plan in the tavern, maybe unless Luthrian has any information for us, but otherwise I think we can.
What time of day is it? Because I mean, we
It's
left
morning.
toward the. I'm asking
it's
Matt.
morning or midday.
Okay, so it's still morning. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, let's not take too long, because again, because you guys didn't want to travel to the.
Right.
But
I think it is not wise to go out into places we do not know. Last time we had Ismark and Arena guide us to Vallaki, and I do not wish to venture out toward the west, not knowing anything of what we are getting ourselves into. Also, I do not know this Baron, and I don't know what everything he said truly means, so I would like to gain some insight.
Isn't the best way to learn stuff that you want to know by doing it?
That can be part of it, Nadar, but it is also wise to ask those who already know.
Yeah.
I like learning by experience.
Having enough of having conversation, I can walk faster toward Luthrian.
Nadar, it's better to learn from other people's mistakes instead of making those mistakes sometimes.
I have found in the past, I don't learn from others' mistakes. I have to make the mistakes myself.
So that tracks. It's on brand. Okay, so you guys are all walking at least in the direction that Luthrian is.
Mm-hmm.
Nadar kind of just stays at that crossroads and sits at one spot, but he doesn't move from there.
He gets all the way. Go ahead.
I want to bring Nadar with us because if we take a different route, then he'll be sitting there for a long time.
Sure. Okay. So all of you, including Nadar in tow, is heading towards the tavern area. And Luthrian doesn't go all the way through the tavern, but he kind of turns, not in a alleyway or anything, but just turns to the right before he gets to the tavern, to where it's off of the main path, so not quite in the main street where a bunch of people are walking back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And he kind of stops, turns around to face all of you, and waits. Does everybody approach?
Sure.
Nadar just sits at the corner outside.
And he looks.
Nadar's looking sad.
He should. He tried to push the Baron out the window.
Well, it's for a different reason.
He looks at all of you. Oh, good. You're all here. Looks straight at Millard and just goes and just smokes him in the face. And actually, he rolled a nat 20 on a hit. Millard is unconscious.
Knock him out?
Yep.
Okay. I take a deep breath, looking at Millard on the ground, and go, I assume he very much deserved that.
What's
then I look
going
back
on?
at Luthrian.
Why
He
did you
did
punch
such a
him?
good job, though, being quiet in front of a rich person.
He just looks like very irritated, and then like he actually like punches the alleyway wall that's right in front of you, and even like makes a dent in the stone wall, and kind of like crumbles a little bit.
Why did you punch Millard?
We'll give Zhao. You rolled a pretty high perception check earlier, so roll one more with.
He got a 20.
I know.
Yeah, we were going to use the nat
We
20
held
that
on to
we
that.
accidentally rolled.
And
You said sure. We have it recorded.
fine. Okay.
Oh,
I mean, if any, like a perception check, if any, like you should have held on to that for something more meaningful other than perception. But sure, I'll let you have. I'll let you have a
I
nat
rolled
20
a
on
20.
perception.
We specified it was for the next check that he would be making.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we did specify that.
Sure.
All right, perception.
So-
I rolled a 20 plus 4, so 24.
You, with everything that you understand, with how he was reacting with you and your conversations, with how he interacted with the Baron just now, and then hearing the bit about basically his life is just now forfeit at the behest of vouching for you guys type of situation. With a nat 20, I'm going to say you piece together that he is incredibly infuriated and frustrated that he just did that. Now you are aware that he knows that Miller did it. And that's why he knocked Millard out.
Unless I'm remembering wrong, Zyle doesn't actually know Miller did it.
So does know Miller did it. They all had that conversation at the tavern.
I thought he didn't hear that.
I
Yep.
don't remember.
I don't remember because we were that was the night we all spoke different languages.
Yeah, I thought we were able to get it to him somehow.
Yeah, you
Elbrus
told him after he got back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
there
it was
wasn't-
like
there wasn't-
after, but
Yeah, Richard or Zal did not know at the moment when Lutheran was
When he was questioned,
questioned.
he didn't know.
Right. You know now. Right.
And Miller's unconscious on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
For Mark, Millard convinced Mark that he was seeing things that.
Right.
So
So
I'm gonna again ask him, why did he punch him?
and the reason I did that
I'm
is
going
because
to look over to Mark.
Yep.
And say, he earned that right, I think. He knows.
What?
Zhao kind of looks around and makes sure no one's around. And it's like, he kind of points to Millard and makes a stab motion. He knows that Millard killed that guard.
Millard killed. What? I'm gonna use message to say. I thought that I imagined Millard told me that I imagined that it didn't happen. That
I want you to repeat the first part of that sentence very slowly.
To that, I laugh.
Millard told me. I think he hoodwinked us both there, buddy. I didn't know for a while.
I turned.
I
I
think
turned.
he
to
manipulated you.
Okay.
Well, other than that, are you physically doing all right? You seem to be, but just want to make sure.
I will be fine. I'm down an arm now, but I'll manage.
Right. Well, I
Suppose
must.
that thanks are in order for
getting me to medical attention before it would have been too late.
I must relay my gratitude for vouching for us. Even though, and I look down at Millard and look back up at Mithrian. Yes, thank you.
Don't thank me necessarily. You need to thank Henrik.
Is he still around?
That old man is always around.
Right then. So we should be going to fetch the wine. Is there anything we ought to know, as we are strangers to this land?
But don't get me wrong. I seem to take no issue with any of you, and Mr. Zhao, I even respect you. But I would not have done what I just did, surely at that. But kind of, he's looking around and being very, very cautious about words. Henrik seems to think that all of you are the key. And if there's even a chance that is correct, then I will do whatever it takes.
Henrik thinks that we are the key. But
Or was I not loud enough, or are you deaf?
What you said just confuses me, because we read with Bismarck's dad seemed to think that Henrik is the key. But the key to what?
To killing the devil.
Yes, and the devil seems to think that we are the key to win his battle, whatever that may mean.
Thus, the never-ending mind game.
Do you know what the devil was speaking of? When he told us that he brought us here for, one, his own amusement, but two, that he was going to be at war with somebody and we were to fight for him. Not that at this moment I want to fight for him. Land of his is terrorizing my soul.
I don't know anything for certain. Only things I hear and stories. Things that I don't particularly find ease in believing in. But if you believe such, story of the clashing of deities. And my assessment of a lot of this hyperbolic information that comes from person to person is that the devil either is one of these or thinks he's one of these or is possessed by them, whatever you want to make of it. He's option A, there's some sort of other option. And they're going to meet heads, and there's going to be a lot of collateral damage.
Well, that does not sound good. Well,
if you believe such.
Right. Well, if we want to stay in favor with your lord, the Baron, we should probably get going.
He spits when you say that.
Yes, I understand that. Please do not put me on par with him.
I don't put anyone on par with that madman.
Good.
Don't take him lightly, though. He's not a simple, fragile individual like he might make out to be.
Oh no, I do not.
And be aware, Lutheran was not in there when he did his spectacle, so he doesn't know that you guys saw that.
Believe me, I do not take him lightly, which is why I had to drop my old habits when he arrived. Which I probably will not be able to pick back up, sadly. Anyways.
So, whenever you all finish your mission, which I suggest doing with haste if you want to stay in good favor with the Baron, find the inn on the west side of Vallaki to show them the mark on your arm.
Will do.
Before we depart, do you happen to know anything about what's going on in the west as to why the wine has not arrived?
It's 1.5 million answers to that. It's the wild. There's a long trail between here and the vineyard.
Are there any known potential threats that we could potentially or know about?
I think he's already answered that.
You see him visibly actually laugh.
This guy serious?
Yes, but being that this is Barovia and you have called it the Wilds, I assume there's a lot to fear out there, so we will be on guard and make haste as to get back as soon as possible.
But if there's any more details that you have so we can have more than just being on guard, we would very much appreciate it, such as be quiet in this area, don't touch this. Or should we just assume everything's about to kill us at any second?
It's Australia.
The West Road is often covered, most commonly, by 2 of the 7 and their ilk, Samael and Kenos. With Samael, you can bet on there being wolves, werewolves, dire wolves, any form of wolf, for whatever reason that may be. With Kenos, you're going to find disturbing creatures you have a hard time defining. Most of which people don't be around long enough to be able to identify before they're killed.
For the werewolves, I assume the weakness would be silver, as we seem to have seen in the past.
Aye.
And any other weakness we could be privy to?
If you find another one, let me know.
Will do.
You put enough magic into him, it at least allows him to be incapacitated for a while.
Right. We should leave, but how long is the journey from here to the vineyard?
The odds are against you. No matter what you do, no matter how you approach this, you're going to have to travel at nightfall.
Right.
If we travel at nightfall, then we'll only have however long the night is to get it and then get it back.
He means that we will be traveling through the night, even if we leave now in the morning.
It's a lose-lose. You can go now, easily get there, but we'll have to be there at night and or travel back at night. If you wait until the morning, there's no hope you get there, accomplish your mission, and be back before nighttime. No matter what you do, you will be traveling at night.
Okay.
Or being in unknown territory at night, however you want to look at it.
All right. Well, we should be off then. Thank you again, Luthrian, for your help and for vouching for us. May we not fail in this mission. I hope to see you when we return.
He kind of takes one last look at Millard and looks back up specifically at Zal.
As heinous as what he did might be, none are beyond redemption. But don't make me regret my decision.
Well, we'll just give you a salute and say, if we can ever figure out what happened and get our strength back, I'll see what we can do about that arm of yours. I promise to you.
And he gives a little smirk and looks at his nub. He's like, "Oh, this?" And he flicks it out, and you see an astral form of like a blue energy arm just appear out of the nub as a form of magic. And it looks identical to whatever his arm would be, but it's just see-through and like a light blue. Kind of like the incanting you put around your mark.
Like I said, I'll make do.
Can I make
When he does that,
Go ahead, Richard.
when he does that, Zal kind of smirks and he says, well, actually, I was talking about the other one. It's looking kind of weak.
He just gives a little chuckle.
Hold
Can I
on to
make
that.
an Arcana check?
I would say, well, I'll save you the hassle because even with a high roll, your character won't know what it is.
Okay.
You can say it seems to just be some form of just projection at a glance. It doesn't seem any different from just some sort of like illusionary magic that just seems to be making it look like he has an arm to match the other arm, but it's clearly see-through and magical property.
And blue.
And blue.
As
That's
I head
important.
out, I say to Zyle, "Can you carry Millard? I did it the last few times."
That's fair.
Oh,
He'll scoop him up.
and someone feel free to knock him out again when he does wake up.
Oh, believe me, one of us will. And I walk off.
And Luthrian walks back towards the direction he came from. But then the second he gets back to the T of, because he's coming out of the alleyway, and you see the a little familiar girl kind of like run this direction, and just kind of like kicks Luthrian straight in the shin. He's and you just see this little girl be like, why did you hit Mr. Millard?
How did she know? I look at Zyle. How'd she know?
How is she in so many places all the time?
Because you're at
She's
the
a deity,
because you're at the tavern.
We were in an alley.
Next to the tavern.
What's your point?
Location.
Oh, she's a deity, confirmed.
She's a deity.
Yep. And he actually just kind of smiles and then walks off.
Oh, he doesn't pat her on the head?
No.
Dang it. As
He just
we
walks off.
walk off toward the west gate, I talk to Zyle in Elvish. Well, that was a lot.
Yes. Thank you for doing all the talking there in the Baron's quarters.
Well, sadly, that is a world I now know.
You at this point realize suddenly that after she says something that the girl has just been walking with you guys this entire time. You guys sure are tall.
I look at her.
Yeah, I know.
Except for that one.
Is there
Dar's
something?
still just looking kind of depressed.
Is there something we can help you with, little miss?
I would like a bow and a horse and milk.
You want a bow?
She
Like
starts just
a hair bow or an actual bow?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll see what I can do about that. I can't get you a horse.
Yeah.
But I'm sure your mummy can get you some milk. Is she not at the tavern?
keep working.
Right. So she has access to the milk.
Uh-huh.
What's your name, honey?
We know her name.
Yep. You can do it.
Nope, I'm asking. What's your name again?
Oh no, I've already given you one tonight.
No, Ayla is asking the little girl what her name is.
I've already said my name.
Okay. Little miss. We have to go and do something for your baron here, and you are not allowed to come with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I find a bow along the way, I will bring it to you. How about that?
You have one now?
No.
Not one I can give you.
So
Bree.
you-
That's her name.
I broke it. Well, maybe a hair bow. Hold on. I look in my bag to see if I can find any form of a ribbon.
she's just bouncing just at the idea of you even looking.
One moment. Hold on. I'm sure there's something in my satchel I can find. I mumble in Elvish under my breath. Stupid kids. Hate children. I pull out a bow. Here you go.
yeah,
and I
yeah,
tie
yeah,
it
yeah.
in her hair.
Okay. What color is it?
It is a rusty red color. Oh dear, no, don't you dare.
Huh?
If I find this bow somewhere else all by itself, I will come to Mississippi and strangle you.
I'm just asking what color the bow is.
No, you're not. You're not just asking me anything.
What color is the bow?
No.
I'm gonna make up a color if you don't give me one.
Fine. I already said before
I
I
didn't-
threatened you.
I didn't
Yeah.
hear it because
Is
It's
it like the
it's
color of
like
the
a
shirt?
brick red. So it's
Okay.
it's a dull brick red. But I swear, if I find this bow anywhere and it's like, I will come and strangle you.
This is gonna be the little girl in Bloodborne, isn't it?
oh, that would be mean.
There's a monster with this tied in its mane.
Yeah.
We'll send
Okay.
you a
She's
glitter
a
bomb.
werewolf. Just
So
call
you-
Mark Rober,
you-
he'll do it.
You put the bow in her hair, and she just kind of like, how do I look?
You look amazing,
Beautiful.
like a little princess.
Just giggles and then just darts off at the speed of light back to the tavern. Just like repeatedly, look what I got, 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 look what I got.
Right then.
How old does she seem?
4.
Yeah, like 4, 5 at best.
Alright.
Okay.
I
So-
continue to the west.
Mhm.
You guys are continue pushing on, and you notice that in the distance now, because you're going to get all the way back towards the church area, and you can see it's very populated, so it's way more people in that area than what you had been at night when you were previously there. And there's a bunch of people talking to Ismark and Irina, who are now all the way this direction. The last time you saw them, they were at the tavern area.
Yeah.
And it seems to be very reminiscent of exactly what you saw them doing at the tavern, only this time it's instead of like them coming to people, it's a bunch of people coming to them and seem to be showing some form of kind physical gesture of appreciation or something. And you notice that it's like a lot of interaction of like positivity towards Ismark specifically.
Say to Zyle, I'm gonna tell them we're leaving, but keep going. I'll catch up.
Roger that.
And I walk over to Ismark and Arena.
You hear him like you get close enough to hear a conversation of one of them just kind of praising Ismark for just being a kind individual that always seems to do what is right in regardless of what's going on around him, and thanks him for coming to help a town that's not his responsibility to help.
As I see they're giving most of their attention to Ismark, I address Arena first.
She's just kind of standing with her arms crossed.
Well, this seems like a party.
Let him have it. He doesn't get compliments like this back in village.
Well, what is it exactly is it for?
For being who he is?
A Burgermeister?
No. Silly girl. She just turns to like at you. A good person.
Okay. Well, if you're not going to tell me exactly what you're talking about.
I just did. Do you think
You just
everything
said
has
he
to
was-
be coated in 10 forms of different layers?
Well,
He's just
I
a
mean,
good person doing good
I get-
things.
I understand that. But, more precise action would be nice to understand this. But that's beside the point. We were
He-
intercepted by...
Paid for your stay at the inn. He's done that with other people. He's paid for food. He's come up to give advice and counsel to those when they are let a moment's break from just tearing down their lives.
Pretty sure you've done the same.
Yeah, they've been thanking me too. He does more than I do.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to come over here and say we are going to the west to the vineyard, as we have run into the Baron of this land, and he has asked us so politely to go check on the delivery of wine that they were supposed to receive, and it has yet to arrive.
You've all been quite busy then to find yourself entangled with that madman.
Yes, I would say so. She should
Yeah.
be able to hear the annoyance in my voice.
Yep.
Of all of this.
And she's
Um,
you're gonna see her perk up and say, "Yeah, do not delay.
If you have agreed to these terms, you need to accomplish this quickly.
Not exactly agreed to, then forced upon. But anyways, would you like to accompany us and help us with this? Because it seems like everyone else has failed.
No.
Yeah, I was expecting that. Anyways, we will hopefully be back. And
No offense to any of you. I very much do hope that all of you make it back alive, but my brother and I do need to get back to the village after
Of
he
course.
gets through accepting appreciation from all these fine fellows and ladies. I do imagine we will make our way back to village.
right. All right. Well,
But we-
thank you again for all that you've done. And I pray that you get back to your village safely and that you all have a good life if we do not have the pleasure of seeing you again.
You as well, Miss Ayla. We will see each other again soon. Just not for this mission specifically.
That is. I do hope we get to see each other again. I have enjoyed our little conversations.
I have not, but perhaps I will in the future.
I put out my hand for a handshake.
She does the military shake, so she goes past your hand and grabs your forearm.
Right. I understand that enough since I've been around Xyle enough, so
Mhm.
I.
And you do note that it's quite a grip.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
To next time.
Yeah.
And I I nod to Ismark, not wanting to interrupt the flow of congregates.
You see him he actually waves to all of you before someone else taps on him. He starts talking to that next individual.
And I run up to the group as they've continued walking.
And with that, all of you walk by, and Ismark and Irina disappear in the distance as all of you make your way to the west end of Vallaki and onward to travel outside the gates into the western hemisphere of the lands of Barovia to attempt a mission to retrieve a wagon from a vineyard. But that is where we'll end tonight's episode. Good job, everybody.
Thank
Lava's internet's still on.
Yes.
I was worried about that. I was like, oh no, it's 10:03. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is where we transition to the post-stream chat portion of the stream. So we will actually engage with chat now and talk with you guys, answer some questions, and we're going to go around to our highlight of the night. So if you want to participate in that, feel free to let us know what your highlight of the night was tonight. So first, just because we don't know when your internet will kick off, I guess we'll go ahead and get you to go first. So Lava,
Yeah.
what was the highlight of the night for you?
Good question. I think either Nadar going to shove the guy out the window, or probably just the whole conversation with the Baron.
Just all of it in general.
Yeah, Nadar was very insightful and helpful in every sense.
Okay. All
For
right.
those listening to this and not watching, I am fervently shaking my head no.
So am I.
Almost aggressively.
I understand that that's not something Nadar was doing.
Sure. Okay. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
But I will stick around till my internet cuts out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Stick around and we'll see if we get any glorious freeze frames along the way.
Okay, let's see. Liam, what about you?
Favorite moment of the night?
Or highlight? Yeah.
Yeah. Highlight would definitely have to be Ayla playing or being as a royal. That was really cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like constantly brown nosing and being very proper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very characteristic of Ayla.
Yeah, I can't wait to dig into that next week.
Uh-huh. I'm sure Zal's gonna have a few comments about that on your travels to the vineyard.
Oh yeah, there's going to be quite a few condescending my lords thrown out. in style.
Please.
Me, my lady.
Yeah. No. Just okay. Anything else, Liam?
I don't know.
Okay.
He has no favorites. He hates everything.
Let's go with.
One loves everything equally.
Let's go with Miss SJ.
I like Millard being punched out, even though he wasn't here. Also the fact that he wasn't here and could have potentially got us all killed.
I'm very curious how this night would have gone if Millard had been present.
I know, right? I'm like, he would have tried to steal something. He would have said something very condescending to the Baron, because for those of you who haven't picked up on it or who are new to the party, Millard does not like royalty in any form, even down to a Baron or even a Burgermeister, as we had seen before. So he kind of like started taking more jabs at Ayla once he realized that she was actually part of a royal family. So to actually be in the presence and into the household of a Baron, I can't imagine what he would do. So yeah. Also, okay, so him getting punched out. I also liked being able to portray the more royal side of Ayla, even though she herself dislikes it. But just letting her, in a sense, be mature as a character and recognizing who she's talking to. And even though she hasn't done that in the past, as we have seen, and she's gotten herself into trouble with the sassiness that she is, to just, like you said, do the brown nosing, be the stupid, respectful person, even though like she doesn't even care that she technically holds a higher rank than he does. She just, part of it was, her kingdom isn't part of this world.
And the rank thing really only goes as far as the term, because like by and large, from at least how everything functions, it seems like he's just in complete control of Vallaki.
Right.
His just title is the Baron.
Right. So yeah, but Vallaki's just a city.
The big one at that, right?
Right. But she's second in line. Well,
sure.
Right now third in line for the for a kingdom. But
sure.
We'll let that play out more later.
Yeah, feel free to let him know about that one. I'm sure it would go great.
Yeah, we're not. She's a little bit more knowledgeable. She said who she was. She told her rank. He basically said your rank means nothing here because you're not from here. So yeah, she clued in on that. But yeah, I'm excited for next week, though, for when the inevitable Zyle interrogation of what the heck was that,
which will be coming, I'm sure.
Right, and yeah, so everyone, stay tuned.
Okay. That everything?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Miss Bex.
I like it when the Baron went all creepy.
I'm seeing a
I don't know if that's surprising.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Let's see. She loves
with
Omen.
Bex.
Creepy
Yeah.
beyond belief.
Yeah.
She likes it when people turn creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he went, I was like, yeah, whatever that was, like all the black and the red, and just like, I was like, yes.
Yep. That seemed like
I'm
that would
not
be
making a sticker of the Baron.
for anyone watching. That should have been a interesting moment if anyone in here is a Curse of Strahd veteran or used to it, because that is a departure from the book, like by a pretty wide stance. So that's like a good example of like we follow the book, and that is a character of the book, and he is still pretty true to the character of the book, but that specific aspect of it, not so much.
As we tell people, this is a homebrew with a Curse of Strahd core.
So that was a little added coloration type of thing. But okay, so creepy Baron, got it. Anything else?
No, that's it. Creepy Baron.
Okay. I'll put that on a shirt. Just nope, that's it. Creepy Baron. It was like, what?
I would wear that shirt.
All right. And then last but not least, Mr. Ricardo. How about you?
It's been mentioned several times, obviously, but Ayla's portrayal was chef's kiss. I really liked Mark coming up and being like, but Millard told me that like you really leaned into the belief that Mark had there, and it was you played that really, really well.
Right. He's like, but Millard says, see, that's the problem.
You had to start the sentence
slowly.
with Millard says.
And I really liked, because the past several bits you've gotten to kind of hang back and let us take the driver's seat and role play. So it was fun to watch you have a conversation with yourself in the Baron's chambers.
I thought that was funny too. Like when all of a sudden the Baron was talking with Luthrian, I was like, ooh, Matt gets to talk to himself.
I always love that. I feel like a lot of times DMs try to get out of that, and we're like no. We ask you a question, you need to answer. Come on.
And I had that interplay in my head. I thought, I was like, I'm just gonna sit. Nope, they're not gonna let me get away with that. I'm gonna have to do both these stupid voices because both these characters are here at the same time. Yep.
I appreciate it was said during the game, but I appreciate you leaning into the Baron and having your arms behind your back. It's the little things.
Every time.
It's the little things. I was like, well, like bare minimum, my fear is exactly what you're talking about when you do have to like get into the seat of doing two characters that inevitably I'm going to screw up a voice or something. So in my head, I was like, if I at least do this every time I'm doing the Baron, then you have a visible nod like, hey, even if I screw up the voice, you know what I'm doing.
Oh, and man, I wish he had accidentally slipped into Zeke voice.
Except the point where you were in as Luthrian and you said his right arm was behind his back and then his nub was, basically facing backwards. So that's still the same position.
Yeah, except for that part. Right. But that was very short-lived because then he went to the forward.
I like the blue arm bit.
This random blue astral arm.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this? Funk.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, I thought I was going to help the man out, give him some encouragement. He's like, oh, nah, I'm good. So I was like, all right, well, I got to fire a quip at you now.
Right. All right, so before I interject a little bit there, anything else, Richard?
That's got it.
Okay. It's already been said multiple times, but it's hard not to laugh at the prim and proper Ayla. That was just amusing in a lot of ways. Mostly, like, especially if you've kept up so far and seen how Ayla is as a character thus far, seeing that is amusing. If it's your first time, it may have been whatever.
You need to go and watch the episode where she talks with Samael, and then watch this episode.
Character growth. Learning from mistakes. It's like, this didn't go well last time. That's fair. Yeah, that was great. The frickin' Elbreth talking to Dar from pushing the freaking Baron out the window bit was glorious. That it actually worked.
I didn't think it was going to.
Yeah. It's like, alcohol.
I'm
Where?
really glad it worked.
Where?
Very glad it worked.
And if just so you know, if you would have gone through with that, like, you would have gotten to him and he would have astraled around you and had his hand on your back and then gone into that creepy bit. So you would not have gotten him. You would not have gotten him out that window.
I just wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah. It was going to be weird either way. But so that's kind of why I wasn't too worried about it. It was like, well, in a sense, I was like, that's a bad idea, but yeah.
I knew it was a bad idea as soon as it came up, but you specified he was in front of my window, and I'm like, I have to do this, otherwise it won't feel like Nadar.
Sure would be. He's not drunk enough to do it yet.
That was so. That was good. This sounds bad to say it, not gonna lie, but Luthrian getting to just deck Millard was, I think, a good moment. And I still would have done that if Jay was here. I still would have done that. That would have been no different. That I would have gone the same route. It just made it a little easier because he wasn't here. But yeah, especially given all that was going on with the circumstances around that, it's perfectly reasonable. That got you to, because up to that point, really, the only person who had interaction with Luthrian was Zyle. So none of you had a whole lot of interaction with him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the first time that they met Luthrian, I know me and Elbreth, Nadar, and Millard were not there, but Ayla...
They didn't talk
Ayla
to him,
was
though.
there, but Ayla did not talk with him.
Right.
She let the two military men talk.
Right.
Okay.
So no one really got to converse with him, but you guys at least knew that Zyle in some sense respected him, so that probably at least said something about his character for you guys. But that was kind of all of your guys' first time getting to talk to, or at least hear Luthrian talk in front of you, which is funny because you're now thinking about it. Your first occurrence is just him decking Millard in the face, which led to the Mark reaction, which was great, and then the Zyle rebuttal, which was great.
Yeah. To chat, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now in chat, and we will get to them.
Yes, and there's a few I'll get to in a second, or at least statements. And then the little girl kicking Luthrian in the shin.
Yeah. How'd she know?
She was standing right, like you guys were not in a hidden space. You were just off the main path.
Okay.
So she's playing around in the street, to be honest. It was not a crazy bit.
Reality is the deity of this realm.
Sure. Sure. And then we gave you a little happy. She came up and started talking to you guys and walking. And then you gave her a nice little bow.
I gave her a bow, and I swear if I see that bow anywhere other than her head, I will fly down to Mississippi and strangle you.
Oh, but what if her head isn't on her body? We have to think back.
Got her.
Option 2.
I will come down and
get very clear terms.
Very specific terms here.
And it's referenced by the bow. I will strangle you
with a bow.
With the bow. I will come down with a brick red bow and strangle you with it.
Sure.
So that means that you're free to do anything with her as long as like it doesn't involve the bow.
Basically.
Right.
Can't
I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. She might be on maternity leave whenever anything with the girl kind of
That's
resolves itself. We don't know.
That would
We may
be
never
extra mean.
We may never see her again. I don't have. It's a girl who wanted to talk to
wrote
you
it
guys.
Down. You made the point to ask me what color the ribbon was, and you wrote it down.
Perhaps to screw with you.
Uh-huh.
That's always a factor.
So you gave a malicious child a weapon? Yes.
I know AK said his highlight was, what did he say? DM playing a 4-year-old.
Oh, is that what it was?
Like, great.
What's the girl's name again?
Bree.
The girl's name is Bree.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
You know what?
I've had to play a
go
younger
ahead.
character.
AK also said, let's see, I can't tell if this is a question or if he's just making like a question in the form of or a statement in the form of a question. He said, did the DM make a foreshadow to Luthrian saving Millard?
No.
I'll let you guys answer that because I'm not going to answer that.
Dirk said, moment of the night. Daniel walking in and out as Captain Rex.
There was another really good moment that couldn't be seen on the stream cameras because they're cropped in. But Bex's cat really wanted attention and actually like shoved her. It's like, pet me, please.
Love me!
It was fantastic.
Yeah, I saw you pick him up.
Feed me is what he was saying. But yeah, it's like my chair moved because he actually like pushed me.
Also, your husband coming in and out with the helmet on. I saw at least one person in chat reference that.
Every
Yeah.
time he has to walk through your background, he does that when we're streaming.
He wears the
He
helmet.
doesn't want to be on the stream.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I have nothing wrong with it. I actually love it because Star Wars. I don't think you can see this on stream, but I have Lego Darth Vader helmet and Stormtrooper helmet, a lightsaber just behind that, and just off camera, I have another lightsaber behind my bookshelf.
All right. We'll do one last round robin as we always do, and we'll end out the night. So this is for chat and for everyone here. It's just a quick, short answer. You don't have to go into detail, and your answer can't even be "I don't know." That is fine. What do you, as a player or character, however you choose to answer, make of the creepy Baron? What do you make of that? Of course, Bex.
I know
Of
Bex's answer.
course. Okay. We'll go in reverse. So, Richard, we'll go with you first.
I really like it because if I remember correctly, as the module's written, he's a bit of a pushover.
As the module's
If it's
written,
who
he's a
I'm-
pushover and he's trying to make everyone happy.
Yeah, he's just a human. That's
Right.
just
He's just so that was a really nice little when that happened because I wasn't gonna metagame it, but in my head I was like, this dude's a weenie Hut Jr. here, and then it's like, oh, okay, so he's not Weenie Hut Jr. Maybe he's Weenie Hut Senior, but we'll,
has some power
we'll
to
find
him.
out. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that was a cool twist. I like it.
did it give you any incentive to want to kill him even more?
Maybe. I mean, he's already just by his bearing was making Zal throw up in his mouth. a
Right,
little
right.
bit.
Like Zao and Millard will probably hate this character to the core. Ayla probably pretty close behind them, but Zao and Millard for sure. This is like the worst for them. Okay, and then that would be Bex. Can't imagine what this answer is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's a
Similar
good
to
answer.
what I don't know, to what Richard was saying though, because I only went through Vallaki in one of the times that I played, but I I feel like it's just like with Ismark and Irina, like all of these things, like it really improves them because like some of these characters, like I love the module, but some of the characters are just kind of like
Stale.
I don't like these characters, so
Mhm.
yeah, like all of these things like improve them. So
That's a good thing. And then
and I definitely want him and Omen to die, but I love them.
I don't want Omen to die.
We have to defeat all 7, right? I don't know
No,
what
we
the
don't
rules
have to
are.
kill them. We just have to kill, or not kill. We have to get rid of what's his name?
God.
Strahd? But what if we have to kill the other 7 in
Leave
order
me
to do that?
alone. I'm pregnant. I have no brain cells left.
Is it
I'm
Hogwarts?
trying to be the most
a fair
proper
point.
princess.
In Hogwarts
In-
battle, you can't start putting damage onto Voldemort until you defeat all the other villains. So
Considering one of the 7 already made the statement that he's with Strahd because he's the one winning at the moment, I wouldn't put it past that one to like if the tables start to turn, he'll turn too. And also, we know that
all good
Omen
points.
just likes chaos, so I don't think she cares. So if she can start causing chaos to Strahd and get away with it, I think she would.
As a devil's advocate point, even chaotic people can sometimes understand and respect power when they see it, though. Or fear it. Enough to fall in line. We'll see. All good points, though.
The question is she chaotic evil or chaotic stupid? Because we can leverage the latter.
Right.
You already have a chaotic stupid in your party, so.
Okay. That goes to SJ. And the question is, what do you make of Creepy Baron? And that. So the first 2 gave their perspective on just what they thought about it. You could also give a perspective on what the heck does it even mean if you want to, or do what they did, however you want to answer.
I will say for Ayla, you'll have to wait till next week to actually hear, because I already have that kind of in my head of part of the conversation she's probably about to have with Zyle. Her thoughts on the Baron.
Yep.
And as for my thoughts on the Baron, it's a interesting character to add. I'm like in terms of the fact that his presence has added so much to the story already, in just how now we have to interact in Vallaki, how it's kind of changed the trajectory of the party, how Ayla had to show her royal side. So I think that it's been an interesting character in the terms of what has happened and how it's changed some things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a good answer.
Thank you.
I think Liam was the next one.
Right. So my answer, you want a short answer or you want to...
However you want to answer.
However you want to answer it.
Well, my one-word answer for this one would be hardcore. He seems hardcore.
Fair enough. That seems like a Beck's answer. Or no, hers was heart. I think is what that was. Okay. Is that the answer you want to stick with?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right on. Short, simple.
Mark's answer is
Rock.
AK.
Short, simple, and to the point. Night, AK. Have a good night, buddy. And then
Good night,
Night.
AK.
lastly, Mr. Lava, the creepy Baron. What do you make of it?
Nadar wants to kill him.
Really? I didn't notice.
They probably all the
But-
characters probably want to kill him.
Not because like he had a chance and he took it and the party stopped him, but because he's like, or now that he's actually seen the power, he's like, oh, this guy's gonna be fun to fight.
Mhm.
The issue with killing him is then we need to replace him.
We have a party of
we need to get
6
someone to replace him.
We have 6 of us that can replace him temporarily.
Nope.
said temporarily.
No.
You really don't want Nadar leading a town.
Just free thing to throw out there. You seem to have an individual outside that all the people like, and you can make a case for the village getting absorbed by Vallaki. Who knows?
Yeah.
Get into the geopolitical side of things, but there's always a way. You at least have seem to be a voice. You have a voice of the people sitting outside that keeps getting thanked by everybody.
But he's about to leave.
Correct. Just food for thought. Just throwing that out there.
No, we just have a time limit on our current goal.
That too. We actually have a time limit. So
True.
let's hope that Nadar and Millard don't just go running off into the woods.
Yep.
Nadar wants to fix this one because it has to do with alcohol.
I have to ask at least, not all of you, but just if anyone wanted to chime in, if anyone got a kick out of that, of like presenting the party that is notoriously known for just doing everything at a turtle's pace. Like, hey, by the way, time limit.
I mean,
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Ayla is not even going to mess with anyone who just runs off. She's like, nope, I'm gonna do this job,
Yep.
get back, make sure I'm in the good graces so nothing else stupid happens toward me, and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go off and murder themselves, that's on them.
Mm-hmm. And depending on how fast you guys do it, you could get it done and then have like roughly like a day or like half a day left in Vallaki whenever you get back. So it just depends
I
on
want to be there for the party.
Well, if you miss that, then you failed the mission to begin with.
Right.
So, well, hopefully that goes well.
Well, I
wagon
mean,
full of
also
wine.
Ayla wants the wine.
Mhm.
She hasn't
wagon
had a
full of
good
wine
wine
is
in
a
a
good
while,
focal
and she's
point.
waiting.
For Nadar.
Right.
Yes.
Your bigger mission, like aside from fighting an entire horde of anything that could be there, is preventing Nadar from drinking all the wine before you get back.
Drinking
That-
any of the wine.
Yeah, that will be more difficult than fighting the hordes.
Yes.
But also, then we also don't really know if we need to go back. Because we're just trying to- Well, we don't even have to
No.
go get the wine. He's letting us leave the city, and that's what we wanted to do. So now we can go look for
Oh,
what's his face
no.
and try to go home.
Yeah.
So next week, Millard's gonna try and get us to just like forego this mission and to leave.
Probably. That would be
Yeah.
my
Those
guess.
are options.
No.
Because that's all he was talking about. I mean, if he was here tonight, he would have been talking about that the whole time and then been like,
Yeah.
yes,
the-
taking the...
The one thing I would put that might make it as a quandary for a good alignment character is that that Luthrian vouched for you, and his life is now tied to you guys doing.
That's
I was just about to
Right.
say
Oh,
that.
right, there's that.
true.
Yep.
We're going to have to figure out another way to get out of here.
So you can do that, but you will know that is at the expense of Luthrian's life.
Nadar
Go
doesn't
get the
intend
wine,
to
drop
get-
it off at the gate, get out.
No, Ayla wants to go to the party.
Yeah.
Nadar wants to go to the party.
And then Stormer makes a
Ayla
fair
and
point.
Nadar can run off
won't.
to the party.
Stormer makes a fair point that Vallaki is like the hub trade route. So if you do that and then ever have to be back in Vallaki later, you're just screwed.
True that.
Yeah.
Tune in next week, viewers, to watch us get rocked by like a wagon wheel.
That's
should
meta
really be
knowledge.
screwing
We
ourselves
don't
over.
know about Vallaki being the hub of trade.
No.
Well, we know that it's a bigger city and that it is a hub of trade because
I think
Ismark
Ismark.
has talked about it that
Yeah.
way before.
Yeah, I think Ismark talked about it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Kind of funny. No one tried to comfort Nadar either. When he went to one of his more depressive moments there.
Wait, today?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Ayla was annoyed at him because
Yep.
he just kept talking and speaking nonsense
Well-
to the Baron, and she's just like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Well, no,
shut
he
up,
snuck
shut
it
up."
in. If I remember right, it was a little side comment when the girl showed up at the same time, the little kid. If I'm thinking
I
of it
did
right.
mention like Nadar's there. Nadar's a little upset still.
Right.
I miss that.
It probably got shadowed a little bit because there was a kid. Would be my guess.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Nadar will be depressed next session.
Just tell Nadar that like maybe Elbereth would have comforted him, but like he's so small and she's so tall that she'd even see him.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. I'm sure he'll still be depressed next week, and you can
backhanded.
talk to him when Ayla gets interrogated by Zyle. So
There will be time
And
for.
I actually have backstory that'll tie into the Nadar one shot whenever that goes around.
True. But there will be time for all of that and more next week, but that's going to do it for us this week. So thank you guys so much for sticking around for episode 35.
Yay.
What a interesting time and blast it was. And oh my goodness, the mess that we're going to be in coming in a few episodes. But that's going to do it for tonight. And we look forward to seeing you guys. I believe we'll be back for episode 36 next week. And then the week following that, which is the 19th, is when we're going to try to do the Elbereth one shot, if I remember my dates correct. We will do updates in Discord if any of that is wrong so that we make sure to cover our tracks. But thank you guys for watching tonight. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. But until then, everybody say goodbye.
goodbye.
Hashtag
Don't
we
have a
stand the
good-
Baron.
See you
Have a
guys
good night,
next
have a
week.
great night.
Good night.